Rachel's not working today. What is she doing?
Well, I also just watched Insecure. It went actually by really quickly. I didn't realize how little episodes there were in each season because when I first watched it, I watched it like week by week when it was coming out. So you know how you have to break up and like.
But did you watch the new season yet?
I put on the first episode of the new season and Andres was like, I like this, like because he thought it would be too like girly or something.
Oh.
So he was like, I'll watch it.
Andy, I thought she was gonna say something else too.
I was waiting for it. No, I didn't really think that's what it was gonna be, but
I was gonna say chick flicky, but I was like, it's not a chick flick because it's not a movie. So then I was like, I changed it to girly. Oh, yep. Too ethnic? Is that what you said? I actually love Insecure, and I thought that I was like, I don't know, like if you're really like gonna be into it, and he was like, well, like I'll watch the first episode of the new season, and he's like, I like it. Can we like bring it
Corey,
back?
Will you watch Insecure?
It's so good, and it goes by so fast.
I like it too, Corey.
It's, in my opinion, it's like the Black and Better version of Girls. Because, like, Lena Dunham, she wrote, produced, created, and starred in Girls. And it's about, like, just, you know, like, her life in the city or whatever. This is, like, Issa's life in L.A. And she wrote, produced, created, and starred in it. And it's just about like whatever the drama and about it's just like a day in the life kind of thing, like in my opinion, and I like think it's like better like done.
Let's go. Hyped. Welcome to You Don't Know Jackie. I'm Jackie Andy.
I'm Jackie Mello.
And I'm Jackie Rachel.
Our friend Brandon insisted we do a podcast together.
We hope you enjoy the epi.
And if you don't, just blame Brandon.
Is the original Jackie back for good? Is this a one-shot deal? I don't know, but it's going to be an interesting ride. So buckle up. Another crossover episode with the original Jackie, Jackie Mello, and Jason Brooks from the Work Shoot Wrestling Podcast as we talk about the hit HBO series Insecure. Fortunately, Jackie Rachel was unable to join us, but there will be spoilers, so enjoy an all-new episode of You Don't Know Jackie.
I want to talk. You're not about to be the black couple fighting in writing.
So, Insecure.
I felt like I should rewatch it all over again because it was pretty good. This season was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, last 5 episodes are really good.
Yeah.
I still don't like Issa Rae's voice. It's annoying to me. But her character's funny. I find it very annoying.
Corey, we don't have Jackie Rachel. Are you going to give us a song?
You don't know Jackie.
If Issa Rae's a good person. No, Issa D, sorry.
Oh my god, that was the song?
Well, you know, you missed a little bit while you were gone. That is
Did the song change?
It got better.
We just don't usually. Jackie Rachel sings it.
Yeah. Why don't you let me sing it?
Go ahead. You need a countdown or anything?
Do it.
How about you wrap her in?
Wrap her
Yeah,
in.
wrap me in. You're my hype man. Hype woman.
Yo.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Jackie.
Ow.
Crossover featuring the gentlemen of the Work Shoot Wrestling Podcast with the
Shut
return
up.
Jackie
We
Mello.
got Jackie Jason. He's a really good fellow. And then we're also joined by Jackie Mello. Okay, there you go.
God.
Boom.
Stop.
See?
Don't do it. No.
Blossoming. Blossoming
Cut
is
it
around.
out.
So sad.
No. Stick to your day job.
Jason Brooks, Jackie Mello, Jason Brooks.
Hello, Jason.
Hey.
Okay, fine. But, you know, people enjoy it. Listen, Brandon gets a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Someone does.
Of course he does.
All right.
He's the only one because he's nice.
Listen, I'm not so insecure that I can't try to rap on here, okay?
Okay. It sounds like every time, see, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like when Issa Rae does that stuff in the mirror.
You don't like her
and
rap?
It's so, No, it's cringy to me. I guess
No,
I'm the only
disagree.
person that finds it cringy.
I liked her rap.
I don't like that whole spiel that she does.
I think that's one of the most endearing things.
Endearing.
Also, a thing I forgot, we also learned that I'm not loving. But anyway, moving on.
Wait, what? How
Well,
are you not loving?
Corey has a lot of opinions about things, right? So he thinks like I'm not really a loving, caring person. He also thinks he's questioned I don't know if he's changed over, but when he started watching Insecure, HBO's Insecure, his question after watching the first season was, is Issa a good person?
Well, not good person. Okay. She's what's the word that I'm looking for? She's not a good friend in most instances.
I mean, Corey's might be desperate for friends, though.
It's not that she's not a good person. She's just not a good friend at times.
Right, but exactly. I don't think that doesn't make you a good person, though.
Right?
Corey,
no.
Why do you think she's not a good person? Or, I mean, has your opinion changed? Do you think she's finally growing after 4 seasons?
I mean, I think that over the 4 years, and it's actually
4 seasons. It's not been 4 years in
it's
time.
1 year of her life. Basically, the show starts on her 29th birthday, and we found out during this season she just turned 30. I think that we're finally seeing growth, and maybe my biggest problem is the fact that she's very selfish, and everything that she does is about her. And I think over the last couple of episodes, especially the episode where she has the heart-to-heart with Lawrence, that actually telling her true feelings and actually having that moment where you actually see the truth of what's actually going on in her life between the two.
Well, or actually see Lawrence take accountability, too, for his part in what was going on with their relationship.
Yeah, but you know what? I think, though, until that moment, I think she has a facade that we really don't see the real her. And maybe is what bothered me about it. The fact that I think she comes across very fake at times. And I think a lot of the other parts of that show feel real. I feel like Lawrence is real. And I feel like a lot of the people in that show are trying to have self-growth.
So if you're you think...
I don't know. I think self-growth is something that I think the show does really well. A lot of the other characters. And with her being the lead of the character, and I think a lot of shows, you're supposed to like the lead, and I don't know if you really like Issa.
Yeah, we got into this, Corey, before, where does she have to be likable because she's a female, right? We have had a lot of lead male characters who are jerks. I don't know if you can curse on this podcast. Who are jerks, right? And we're fine with it. But this woman is not a bad person, but she's just self-centered. I think she's extremely self-centered. But she's not a bad person. But we're saying, oh well, we don't like her, and we can't deal with her because she's not, Reese Witherspoon or something. It's like, I don't know. I think there is an aspect of a female lead having to conform to what society thinks a woman should have to be. That's my. But I do think the one thing that you point out that I agree with is the depth of her character. I don't think we see that enough. I think they do a lot better job with Molly, actually, of like getting into the depth of her character and how she's really, really flawed. They don't spend as much time with Issa doing that.
But it does seem like Corey doesn't even think Molly's flawed. Like he's sitting here like Team Molly, whatever happens, I'm Team Molly. And I don't know why you have to be on a team.
You know what? Honestly, I didn't like Molly from the beginning. Like, I didn't like her dating habits, like how there was one dude that she was with that was in like in one of her law groups. It was the heavyset dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
And then she just had sex with him, and like he was so nice to her. And she was so superficial that she didn't even want to date him because he wasn't to her standard of what a guy should look like. But yet she's getting treated like shit by all the other dudes that she was going out with.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone goes through.
But I think one of the things that the show has done really well with Molly, and I could say as someone who hasn't been in any relationships, so I'm taking this all from other people I've seen. One of the things I like about Molly is I think that unlike Issa until these last couple of episodes, and I will say my opinion on Molly has changed a little. I mean, opinion on Issa has changed a lot over the last 5 episodes, which I think have been some of the best 5 episodes of the show, is the idea that Molly is at least sort of grown as the show has gone along. She's absolutely self-sabotage is her biggest problem. That every time anything is going well, and as the season ended, she's once again is single again, just like almost every character in the show. And I think in all of these shows, when anyone is actually in a good place, you have storytelling becomes very limited. So just like we saw the end with the couple that's actually has a family, they dealt with post-depression. That's the only story they could really mostly tell, and that was a really interesting conversation to have. But Molly is willing to grow. She's going to therapy. Something that from what I've heard, in the Black community, it's sometimes looked down on, getting help and doing stuff like that. And I think that they really something strong that insecurity.
Yeah. Well, she did stop going to therapy, and now she's back. So there was that. But also, like,
and she stopped going because she was getting challenged. She stopped going because she was getting to the root of her issues, and then she's like, "Oh, I got to step back."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she didn't like it. She didn't like the person she was seeing.
Issues with her father, issues in her relationships, and now you see, you know what I mean? So, if it's only been really a year that we've seen, you already had for Issa's character, she was already in a long-term 5-year relationship, and I guess for about 4 of those years, Lawrence was unemployed. And then maybe 2 of the years, I think he was struggling with depression and stuff like that because of not being able to get a job or whatever. So I think you're allowed to take time for yourself and take a year where you're focusing on yourself. I mean, she's realizing then, changing career paths and trying to figure out what she actually wants to do. Yeah, maybe it's a little if you're 29, 30, but you have to do it at some point if you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but the thing with her, though, is that Issa was pretty much shitting on everybody on her way up to the top. She wasn't very appreciative of the support that she was getting from her friends, and then she was just her main focus was just getting to where she wanted to be, and she didn't care how she got there. She didn't care who she hurt along the way, basically.
Can we talk about the year thing, Corey? I don't know that that's right. All this to happen, and Lawrence has had 3 girlfriends. His career has completely skyrocketed.
He's a player. Isn't that hashtag Lawrence career or something?
And Issa left her job. Her career has now skyrocketed. Molly has been in 2 law firms. I don't think this all happened in a year. Nathan came and then Nathan left.
Well, they did give. I mean, they did. They did he just watched it all right now, and they did have it it starts on her 29th birthday, and she just recently someone said she was 30. So I mean, maybe it's 2 years at most going on 2. It's a busy time. That's a busy time in people's lives right there.
Yeah. I really, I love the story they did with Tiffany and the postpartum depression because they never on shows get into that. And they talk to the writer after, and he's like, especially in the Black community, they don't talk about stuff like that. So I really like how they dealt with the postpartum depression with Tiffany.
And I think it was also that was a good way to get them together because they're gonna, they're not coming together on their own, but now their other friend is in need, so they're gonna come together, to help her out basically, and they did it in a humorous way as always too, going on this whole chase of trying to figure out where she went and just having the comic relief of Kelly's character in there too.
I love
we didn't see a lot of Kelly this year, which I was disappointed in.
But when she was on, she was good.
More serious. They were getting more serious, it seems like, in this season. The turmoil between Molly and Issa.
I think it almost works better sometimes in small doses because before you're okay, this is comic relief, I get it, but when it's too much, it's almost like the character doesn't seem real.
That's true.
Where now she did feel more real. Okay, you're gonna tell someone you're from Britain or whatever, and you want to put on this accent. okay, like it's funny, and it's like, yeah, like that's not like so out there. People do that, right?
Yeah.
Corey, you ever try? Why don't you try to pick up some ladies, change your accent around?
At this point, I will do almost anything to pick anybody up.
Can
but,
you
God.
do any accents?
I can barely sing, but you allow me to do it on the show, so I'm sure at some point maybe it'll happen.
Try an accent. What do you think? What's the best?
Yes,
what's
go.
the best? What should it be? British, Australian? What do you think?
Should do an Irish accent.
Yes, our fans in Ireland. Listen, if anyone is listening in Ireland, please write us and tell us. You can be on the podcast. We'll let you on there.
Top of the morning to you. No, can't do it.
No, that was terrible. I pretended to be Puerto Rican for women when I was like 20 years old. They were like, there were a few girls, and they were like, "Oh, are you Puerto Rican?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And
what can Corey pull off? What can he pull off?
Nothing.
British. You have to get an accent.
I don't think you can pull that off either.
He has to get the accent down.
He can't even get the Irish accent down.
All he said was "top of the morning" to you.
What about Canadian? What about Canadian? Maybe he could be, but I feel like that's not an attractive like.
A boat.
Boot. Yeah. It's true. People don't swoon over that. The British is gonna get you. British or Australian. Irish too would be good. Yeah. What about? Can you do a French accent?
Oui.
Yeah. Oh,
no, not speak French.
No.
This is what I've learned. It's not Corey's. His strong suit isn't that. He not rapping. No, he's terrible.
What is Corey's strong suit? Like, I don't know a single thing that Corey is strong in. Other than talking about wrestling. He could probably talk you under the table with wrestling, but that's about it.
Hey, that's what you do every Thursday on the Workshoot Wrestling podcast. What I'm here for.
Shameless plug.
I also wanted to see if you thought I don't know now, but I know like that was a big thing of the actress that plays Molly, her Ivana Orgy, her she's like a virgin committed to stay virgin till marriage, I believe. At least
what?
She was a couple. Yeah, so I didn't know if Corey was like Team Molly because he connected with that.
Not a virgin here.
Well, you know what I mean.
Oh God, Jesus.
Well, there's some people that are like born again. I think that's what happened. I was listening to an interview, and I think she got on college campus, and like, one of these things approached her that it was sort of like this born again type of thing. She was like, "Oh yeah," and went for it. And I don't know current. I'm not like 100% on it, but I know a couple years ago, like when at the start of Insecure, or like in 2016, she was still a virgin. And
she's got a comedy special coming up on HBO, a big comedy special. So we'll probably be able to find out if she's still a virgin.
It wasn't in there. She didn't mention it.
Oh, did you watch it already?
Yeah, Corey and I watched it. Well,
is she's saving herself for marriage?
I think that was the idea, but I don't know if like I'm not gonna be the I don't want to like misspeak, and in case she did the deed, but I believe she's not married, so I believe that would still be the case. But
I never understood those things, because what if you never get married, so you're just gonna remain a virgin for the rest of your life?
I guess, and her character too is these sex scenes that are very like graphic sometimes and everything. So it's interesting because it's almost like because you're having this like pseudo sex, but
yeah, I mean she's 36.
Now, yeah.
She's been,
so I know
she's been a virgin a long time.
Yeah, a couple years ago, like I know there was an interview and it was like a virgin at 32, and I feel like in that interview she said, I feel like that it was waiting for marriage, and I don't believe that she's married, but I know she did have a relationship. But in her new special she said she's single, but I don't know if that was just for the bit or whatever.
Well, in 2017 she said something about waiting for marriage. So right. I mean, and she's still single. So right. Yep, I think we're just rolling. I think she's just rolling with it.
I think so.
Wow, God bless her.
I'm available.
Would you marry her? She doesn't. She moves away. Like if you send her a DM, she'd be like, "Get out of here." You know how many people probably try to like, "Oh, I could get her. I could get her."
I don't think I can get her. I'm just saying, you know, I'm open to the idea. Team Molly, yeah. One of the things about the show that I brought up to actually all of you, which I think is really interesting, now that we're on actually the sex scenes and stuff with the show, is where you can see that the show is done by a female perspective.
Corey likes guys' butts, basically.
Although the writer is a man. The writer is a male.
Try to bring something interesting and thoughtful to the conversation, and this is what I get: male butts. But
you like male butts?
I cannot lie. But one of the things I did find interesting is, and maybe I noticed this more because I binge watched this show basically
He knows it more because he likes male butts.
This is why I asked Mello to come back to the show after all this time. Truly happy I made that decision.
Yes, you did. Solely you alone. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead, continue. Corey likes to take credit for everything.
Good ideas and even some of the bad ones. Not bringing in Larry, but so one of the things that I did find really interesting was that all of the sex scenes, when it comes to the key characters of female characters, Molly and Issa, you never see any gratuitous female nudity of any breasts or buttocks, ass, or anything.
I think they show their ass, don't they?
No. You've never seen anything of Molly.
Corey was taking studious notes.
Molly's not bad looking. Why not? But then you'd see of all the non-significant female characters or the male characters, you see breasts, ass, some people who aren't actually that matter.
Mm-hmm.
All the story.
Well, there was a chick that Lawrence was with at the Best Buy chick, and I remember she had like really big boobs, and they showed them like all the time. When they showed them all the time, I remember that. Yeah.
The final scene of season 1, when you think that Issa might be getting back with Lawrence, there's a chance. That's the final scene where you see Lawrence and the girl from Best Buy having sex. That's basically the first time besides the strip club scene. The episode before, that's the only times you basically see any female body parts in there. And before that, you see, a bunch of only times you see
female body parts.
Like
like we don't see their whole body like other times.
Female body parts.
I'm respectful. Leave me alone. The court jester is trying to be nice. Leave me alone. But I'm just wondering, what are you guys' thoughts on that? The idea, maybe it's because like this is a female-driven show. Is it?
No.
No?
No. I think it's because that's just how they wanted to do it. I mean, when you sign a contract on these shows, you can say that you don't want your parts of your body exposed on television. Like, you can sign the contract and say that.
I think that's why a lot of times people that aren't as famous, not that like, I mean, I know, I mean, this is really what broke out. I mean, Issa Rae had the web series on YouTube, Awkward Black Girl, which kind of is very similar to her character here, like the awkwardness. I feel like also you were saying that you didn't think she was being genuine. I think it's just that she feels like awkward, or also like kind of like an outsider a lot, and that's actually how I think Issa Rae kind of felt like mirrored it onto her, the Issa D character. I think that if you're the bigger, you have more say if you're the bigger star of the show. And like we even said with, if Yvonne Orji, I think they want to be safe that like nothing slips. Cause I mean, if she's trying to be a virgin, they don't want to, you know what I mean? they try to be very careful with that. So I feel like how much are you going to show, or you might not even want to be, you don't even want to risk like, if someone is that principle in their life, they would sign a contract, kind of like Jackie Mello said.
But also the same idea, though. I'm not trying to harp on this, but also Condola's character, somebody who was
condolences.
Thank you. Character.
I call her condolences.
Her sex scene, you don't see any female nudity in that. But then the random bimbos that Lawrence is having sex with, you see nudity. So I mean,
I love the bimbos word. That's old. Corey
Well,
going old school. But
well, maybe they're trying to show a difference in the type of lovemaking that it is, right?
Right,
They're
that it's
trying
just
to
sex. It's not even like,
distinguish.
it's not intimate in the sense how him
That's
and Issa
interesting.
used to have sex.
That's interesting. Well,
Because when you hook up with somebody like that, it's literally you're just fucking that person. You're not even having like that intimacy that you would have with someone that you spent years with.
But to counter that, when Molly and Issa were hooking up with dudes, they didn't show them naked even then. They didn't show them naked.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I don't know. I think the biggest part is that they're the stars of the show, and they are choosing that they don't want to be naked, and they're the stars of the show. Yeah. So they're like, "Fuck it, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna get naked." Yeah. So,
Corey.
I think it could be as simple as that. To be honest with you. And maybe there is something
Corey,
with Molly
reads
where
into these things, maybe.
Yeah, it is interesting that Molly's like this big Christian, but she's getting it in on the show. So I think, right? She's like,
yeah.
So I think that
that's acting.
That is acting, but it's still interesting. But maybe part of the reason why she doesn't want to get naked is because of her, religion as well. So.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I wanted to talk about and bring up was the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say here spoilers if anyone hasn't finished season 4.
Yeah, spoilers if you haven't finished. Don't listen to this.
Corey
part
saw coming.
now.
He said, "Have you heard this one?"
Yeah, right.
No one in the world saw that coming.
Maybe that's Corey's skill. He's a psychic. He can see into the future.
I read
it when's Corona gonna end?
I saw what boobs they showed and which boobs they didn't show.
I think I saw a left ass cheek, but not a right ass cheek.
It was all clues. It was all clues.
Has a lot kind of a light up at this point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. No. Like, I'm upset at how it ended because why is it that him getting a woman pregnant is a deal breaker for her? She literally said, I want to keep people in my life that make me happy, and he makes her happy. So why is it a deal breaker that this other woman is having his child? Who even knows if it is his child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
come on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think, one of the things was, and they talked about this on like this show, the after show, was that they're never gonna have that first time, like them having a kid together. Like that's never gonna be the first time he has a kid, right? Like so, it's always gonna be he's gonna have a kid with this other woman. That's the first. So I think they're kind of losing that after having spent so much time together.
If she met him and he had a kid, it wouldn't be an issue. Though.
Right.
No.
And I think it would be. Then? It wouldn't.
I honestly think it would be even less of an issue if Issa didn't have a previous relationship with Condola. Like I feel like if it was like, oh yeah, or even if it was a new person that,
some
but I guess then you wouldn't
chick.
have as strong ties to them. But even if it was a longtime friend and then they broke off with one relationship and you guys started dating and then they said, oh my God, the girl just told me she was pregnant. I think it would be even different then, like even if you wanted to continue the relationship, because it wouldn't be like, I feel like there's so many feelings there about the fact that she was the ex. She was also a kind of a big part of why Lawrence and Condola broke up, because she got brought up in that conversation. Like, if Issa didn't cheat, would you still be with her?
Yeah.
So
well, no, but it's the reason that they broke up was because Condola, during that Thanksgiving thing, he invited himself, and she's like, "You invited yourself. Like, why would I say no to that?" Like, so she wasn't.
There's always multiple reasons,
sure,
but it did get brought up in the conversation. She asked him, straight out about that.
Well, there's the other idea that, like, when you're with somebody and they're going through pregnancy and you're going to the appointments with them, and Lawrence, as much as like he's been a mess, he seems like a good guy. Like he's gonna want to be there.
We're not sure. We're not sure if she's a good person.
He's gonna want to go to the. He's gonna want to go to the appointments. So doing all that might make him closer to her. So that
Is he
might
going to
make
change his mind about the San
that might
Francisco
make.
job
I mean,
because of the baby?
Who knows? That's got to
But
be
if he
something
has,
that's going through her mind.
but if he has a good relationship with Issa and they're in a good place and pretty much they're unbreakable and their relationship is unshakable, then she shouldn't be worried about him going to
They
the
did just
meetings,
start back up.
the classes or
Yeah,
whatever.
they're in a fragile part in their relationship, and the thing is, they're not unbreakable. They did break up already, so there are cracks there too.
But they're mending them though.
So, but you're saying, Jackie, that so if you were in that situation, you'd be like, oh, man, I'd think about it for a second, but yeah, that would probably be fine because, like, it would just be like, that's cool.
Not that that's cool, but what am I gonna do? He was with her before. Let's say.
But I think when you're outside of a relationship, you can look at it more logically.
Oh yeah,
but you get more emotional when you're inside of it.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see how that could be. I mean, they're young too, and I'm in my mid-30s, so it's like, at this point, you're gonna end up dating some people that already have kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
I think we're forgetting one major thing about. Remember what the name of this show is called? Insecure. Issa's a very insecure person to begin with.
Hey. LA is just so small. So small. Where are all the good men at? Where are your exes? Let me run up on them like you run up on mine.
And I think Condola is basically what Issa wants to be. Success.
Oh, wow.
She feels threatened. Yeah, I can see that. She feels threatened.
She's jealous of Condola's, the fact that she's having a relationship.
The way you say it, you make her out to be so bad. You're like, oh, this is Issa. She's jealous of Condola.
But I think they hinted at that in the beginning of this season. That
they did.
Jealousy,
especially when
envious,
she was
whatever.
dating Lawrence, because it was like Issa was with Lawrence for that whole time, where she could see like he had the potential, and now he was actually living up to the potential.
But even beyond that, the fact that she was like just a put together person.
Right.
Like she was put together in her career and kind of also put together in who she seemed to be. Like she was confident in herself, whereas again, Issa isn't. So I think there were a lot of those factors as well. So she's also threatened by who Condola is.
And basically and in a way that she wants the life that Condola already has, kind of in a way, the success she has, and I think almost kind of in Issa's mind, the fact that she's having a baby with Lawrence before Issa was able to, that's something that she's losing out to her again. I think in a way, yes, she's Issa's friends with Molly. She's friends with Tiffany. She's friends with all these people, but these are all different parts of her personality that she wishes she had. I mean, success, the job, the family.
Mm-hmm. Are you speaking from experience? I feel like this is like you looking at Jason.
Absolutely. I think that's everybody. I think you look at most people, the people that they're around are also parts of what I think they also want to be. I mean, some people have different things that you want, and they're kind of filling in some of the holes that you have. And I think
That's interesting.
I think one of these things you see within the show, like I said, show being called Insecure, you're seeing a lot of her insecurities, and I think that if Issa was really able to look truly within, she would see that Lawrence and Molly, Tiffany, all these people would be able to make her better. But the fact that her insecurities won't allow her to actually be happy, or be happy for the idea that Lawrence actually wants to be with her. But, everyone has baggage, and all of these things are part of a package. And until she actually grows up and maybe gets into her mid-30s and becomes older to be more responsible, she's never going to truly be happy,
It is interesting that she hasn't gone to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist too. Like, they've done that with Molly, but like, why hasn't she done it? Also, there's the idea that she wasn't necessarily going to say, oh, you're having a kid? Oh, all right, I'm good to go. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of, holy shit, I got to sit here and think about, and the scene was great. Like, it was heavy. I think it was one of the best scenes they've had on the show. But So it was just heavy. And I think they, like the end there where they were just sitting there kind of in silence, I think that told you all you needed to know, that there's just a lot of questions and she's nervous and she's got to think things through. Even if she was super secure, that's a lot for anybody to handle. And throw in the fact he's moving to San Francisco. Like, let's not forget about that too. So he's having a baby with another woman.
That's what I'm saying.
So even when he comes
I
back,
wonder if he's still going to move, if he's going to have a young baby. I mean, I guess it's only a 45-minute flight, this, that, the other thing, but
but also he's got to split his time.
Yeah, but did he even say that he was gonna be in the kid's life like that? He was like, I don't want to have it. And she's like, well, I do.
Yeah,
this
but
is what I
once she
wanted.
does, well, the point we're making, though, he seems like the kind of guy that's not going to just walk out on the kid.
Yeah, but it's not that he's going to walk out and, like, clean his hands of it and that's it, He's going to obviously pay for child support. And I would assume he would want joint custody of the kid or, like, to see him. But I don't think he's going to be, like, all lovey-dovey and, like, best friends with Condola. They're going to be civil. But
yeah, well, not with Condola, but yeah, you're
together.
still spending your time with the kid, your obligations to having a child and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if he does go to San Francisco and he flies back to LA, what's he gonna do? Hang out with Issa or hang out with the baby?
Right.
I think
that sucks though.
Yeah.
I'm like putting myself in the position of him. Like, you don't want this kid, like you don't want to have a kid because your whole future is ahead of you, but then again you chose
but that's also a knee-jerk
protection.
reaction that he had, that you know what I mean, like you hear that and it's like, well, I just started this other relationship, I'm not in a relationship with you, that's not the perfect way that I wanted to have a kid. But I think that's his initial reaction, is like, no. But I think over the time of her pregnancy and then having the kid, I think his opinion would change into like, I'm gung-ho on this is my baby. You know what I mean?
Lawrence is also, just like Issa and everyone else in the show, this season he is dealing with the results of everything that's happened, where he's going to now have a kid, he's got an STD, all of his actions over the last...
Wait, he has an STD?
Yeah, he had to go and tell everybody that he got an STD.
No, he got that cleared up though. Wasn't it gonorrhea? He took the pills, he's fine, he's good to go.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Again, Corey watched all the seasons, so there's things that we
went into depth about it. I think he learned about STDs on this show. I don't think he knew about it before.
Wrap it up or be in trouble. But all I'm saying is, I think though his actions have consequences. He said he got an STD. He went and was a good chance he might have been getting back with Issa, but his previous actions, now he's gonna have a kid. One of the things that I do find interesting is, does this show work if Issa is actually in a healthy relationship or happy? Does it work if Molly's happy? Because basically,
no, I mean, that's like millions of shows work if it's everything's perfect. Like that's the point, like we kind of made earlier, I think, is that, I mean, that's what makes it interesting, because I think that's real life anyway too. And no one is, no one's perfect and no one's life is perfect. There's, maybe people are, oh yes, there he is, Corey pointing to himself.
No, but what do you think?
I never saw Jason's eyes bugged out of his head so big when he did that.
You are. That's I didn't even know where to begin. But I think there has to be some like kind of conflict, right? Like her not being in a relationship, like that's conflict. So if she is happy in a relationship, like it's not. What show has there been with a couple that's happily married and everything's great?
Right. I mean, I even think that. Like even when the season started and I was like, oh, they're like, I feel like every so often you have this like thing with Issa and Molly, like, oh, they're not friends, they make up, and I'm like, how true is that to real life? And I mean,
I can say for me it is. One of my best friends and I had a big, Corey and I had a falling out years ago. And
that
I had
I can
see that.
I've had, and it's just one, right? Yeah, just one. It was a big one.
Yeah, but so that's what I mean. I feel like they've already been through this, but maybe they didn't have the rock bottom yet, and now it was just like a little ebb and flow, and this was the rock bottom, and now they're going to try to build from there, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I don't know. I think the friendship thing, is legitimate.
What did
I
Corey
do like,
do to you? What did he
oh,
do?
that's a story for maybe another time. Unless Corey, you want to tell it, it's fine.
We'll save it.
Broken glass.
Wow.
Almost arrested. Is that the short version?
I mean, I wasn't almost arrested.
Sorry, were you arrested?
I was actually arrested.
I'm sorry. Actually, it was a long time ago. I was trying to remember from the top of my head. But,
Good boy.
Okay.
Things happen. But if you want more on that story, check out the Workshop Wrestling Podcast.
We're gonna go over the whole story then. No wrestling talk. We're just gonna talk about Jason's failed college love life.
Oh boy.
Hey, it all worked out.
It did all work out.
Yeah, not for Corey.
No, not for Corey.
Yeah, it was the best.
Well, he got his friend back.
Okay, so it worked out for him then too.
Yeah. I mean, okay, let me ask you ladies this. Let's say with Issa that happened to you, right? And the same situation happened. If you were Issa, where would your head be at?
Which situation with Molly or with
Issa and Lawrence? Lawrence is gonna have a kid with someone else. Mm-hmm. You're trying to figure out your relationship. Where would your head be at if you were her? Would you say, yeah, I think we should try it? I think it's, where would you be at?
I don't know. I get so hung up on the fact that I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'd almost have to talk to Condola, just because the way their relationship was building, I'd feel so much like now it's awkward when we're around each other because even though you broke up, it in my mind as Issa, I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't, even though, I was privately saying, oh man, she got the good Lawrence, but she wasn't coming on to Lawrence. She wasn't doing anything inappropriate towards Lawrence and just keeping it like we're friends, blah, blah. Didn't do anything until later when it, he kind of opened the door to say, yeah, no, we're broken up. And then they reconnected. And I feel like Condola would never believe that. And I, personally, myself as the Issa character would have such a problem with that. And I don't know why. I feel like that would be holding me back. That's what the part I wouldn't like, that, she would think there was, something more. Whereas if he would never had to see her again, you wouldn't even have to think about any of this. So I don't know.
For me, it would be devastating. For the simple fact that you get the person that you love back, right? And you're starting to rekindle everything, and you're basically starting on a new page, like a new outlook of your relationship, and it's so brand new, and you get everything out in the open, you hash out your differences, and then you find out that somebody is pregnant with the guy, the kid from the guy that you love, and you're just like, shit, okay, this is a ton of bricks on my life now. What am I gonna do? But I think I would take some time, honestly, to think about it. I think
here's the question.
Everything.
Did the guy have an accent? Ben, see, Corey, you gotta get the accent. You got the accent.
If the guy had an accent,
throws it over
everything.
It's all over
out the window.
Yeah, if he had an Australian accent or a British accent or some kind of accent, I'd be like, okay, everything's forgiven.
What about a New York accent? New York accent, no.
No, an American, no, thank you.
Where do you guys think this is gonna go next season? I mean, is she gonna be?
Oh, it can go everywhere.
I mean,
I have no clue.
It can go. We know that they're probably not gonna be together, right? Or maybe they'll start.
Listen. She can have a miscarriage.
Well, people were saying, I was hearing that.
She can have a miscarriage.
She could. She can have
the
twins
baby
too.
can also not be Lawrence's.
What did I say? What did I say? 1 in 4 women miscarry? It happens a lot. It's not.
Or something can happen to her. I'm not saying somebody's gonna push her in front of her car.
Oh, now we're getting into the Sopranos.
Something can happen. Yeah, she can fall down the stairs and have a miscarriage. Yo, they do this in the telenovelas all the time.
I have to think.
I think she's gonna have the baby. I think she's gonna have the baby.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have the baby.
And because that's gonna make so many. There's so many more layers to the story now. If she has the baby, she'll still be involved. And like Corey, you made an excellent point. You said that she didn't get. I know it's rare for you, but you did. You said that she didn't. Condola wasn't naked in it, and it shows that she's going to be a part of the show moving forward. So seriously, it like foreshadowed her. It foreshadowed her. I think everybody else in the women on the show, other than the lead characters, all the other women have basically been naked, right? Except for
the Richmond rule.
I don't know. I think I think I think Condola's going to be a big part of next season. I think she's going to be a big part of it.
Well, if anyone have anything else to say, or should we ask?
I have one last thing, and this is just
okay.
Please let it be the last thing.
Wow.
That you ever the last.
I want to get back on Call of Duty, man.
I'm just wondering, who do you think? And maybe we haven't met the person yet, but who do you think Issa either should be with or will wind up with? Nathan, Lawrence, Daniel.
Daniel's out of there. Are you kidding me?
Daniel?
I mean,
He
obviously
sucks.
they're keeping Nathan around. I
want her to end up with Nathan. I think Nathan is a good choice, but like Nathan's always going to be the dude that she fell back on when Lauren's thing didn't work out. He's going to be the second option, which is sad.
Maybe someone new. Maybe they got a new character coming to the show with a British accent. Corey with the British accent. And that's it. Wrap it up. It's done.
The one thing I do love on the show is how much they talk about mental health. Like Lawrence with mental health and, Molly's issues. I love how much they talk about mental health. I think she's going to definitely sleep with Nathan next season because she's a mess. So I think
definitely
she's definitely going to sleep with him. And then it's
especially if things are on shaky ground with Lawrence. Like now she's not sure. Yeah,
she's not going to see him a lot. Nathan's gonna be around. She's gonna bang him in the back of the barber shop or whatever. It's gonna be a whole thing for her. And then they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do now.
I mean, I do wonder what endgame is for this show. I mean, I think it's a really fun show, and I'm glad that we wound up talking about it because it is one of the better shows on HBO and most likely on all of the streaming options right now. And I think it is a really good representation of what television can be in 2020 right now, and our binge culture. I think it was a really good experience to go through in this coronavirus.
Yeah, some of us are watching it weekly, Corey, but yeah, you can binge it if you haven't seen it, and you just listen to us tell you exactly what happens in the season finale. But anyone have any input on what would you do if you got a girl pregnant or your man ended up getting a girl pregnant just when you were going to rekindle your relationship?
I've never gotten anyone pregnant.
Get a British accent?
If it were me, I would stay in LA. I would be all about having a kid, and I would try to make it work with Issa.
Yeah.
That's probably, and I would pray Condola does not have something happens. I don't know. I mean,
meanwhile, Corey would be pushing her down the stairs apparently.
Yes.
For
no,
me,
I mean, I would be into it. I'd be into it. I think I'd be into it. But if something happened, it would be like, okay.
That's what I'm doing.
What'd you say?
If something happened, it would be divine intervention.
Wow. So I'm hanging out with Molly at the law firm, eating Ethiopian food.
Are you the mailroom clerk? What?
Jeez.
Well, any Jackie asks, tell us what you would do. You can email us at youdon'tknowjackiepodcast@gmail.com, and you can check us out on Instagram. You don't know Jackie, you don't want to know Corey. Also check out the Workshoot Wrestling podcast, and thanks Jackie, Jason, and Corey. If you have any interest in wrestling at all, go check that out. They're doing some pretty interesting stuff.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I know that would make Corey very upset.
It's not for everybody, but that's not for you. It's not for Jackie Mello, but we do.
Not for me.
Thank you, Jackie Mello, for coming back.
You're very welcome.
Jackie Mello,
glad to be back.
So Jackie Mello, if we did a Call of Duty podcast, you'd be all about it?
Oh yeah. COD all day.
Maybe our next show.
Okay.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks. We missed you, Jackie Rachel. Thanks, James, for our
where she went.
Yeah, she couldn't. It was noburdenmusics.com. And I had one other thing to say. I got distracted by this Call of Duty talk. I don't know.
Damn.
Check out the Work Shoot Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I already said
that.
That
already. You said that. Come on. You need that many listeners that you got to repeat it like 5,000 times, bro.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
You're so
Go
selfish.
put out a Craigslist
I mean, so like
ad.
Issa, only thinking of yourself. I mean,
go put out a fucking Craigslist ad, dude.
Oh God. Oh, that's pretty funny. But just so you guys know, we are at Work Shoot Pod on Twitter. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. We're everywhere. Just Google us.
I wonder who has more listeners, the Jackie podcast or the Work Shoot podcast?
well, we're all part of the Fam Dude Network, so
Yeah. We're all one.
Fam Dude Network.
yeah.
Oh, jeez. Am I getting royalties for this?
No, because you don't understand that it was me. It would have been nothing with
I
you.
gave you the Fam Dude. I gave you the Fam Dude.
No, but it was my
provided
joke based on you writing it, but I
golden
made the
ticket.
joke based on what you wrote. It would be no Fam Dude. There'd be no Fam Dude without the both of us.
Technically, there would be no Fam Dude without me. But, okay.
I said both of
Go
us.
on.
Yeah. Don't take all the credit, though. It's not, what are you, Corey now?
Yeah. I learned from Corey.
Anyway, I'll toss it to, since we don't have Rachel, but I'd say I hope you enjoyed the epi, and I'll toss it to Jason for the last word.
I think we're done here. See ya.
Now I can go back to play my COD.
All right, I gotta go finish watching these wrestling shows because tomorrow I'm not gonna be really able to do anything.
Okay.
All right. Well,
It's my wife's birthday, so I gotta.
Oh, I did. Corey did say that.
Yeah, so I got some plans for her. So.
That's
All right.
good. See, not
Bye,
like
guys.
Lawrence, who just bailed out on Issa's birthday in that first season. He did nothing. That was part of the whole decline.
Oh yeah,
He was
that's
sitting on the
right.
couch. He did nothing for her birthday, right, Corey? Yeah.
Only thing is I don't know is how was he so lazy and didn't do anything but still had abs like that? Like how is that possible? Like he's in amazing shape, and I don't. I work out like pretty regularly, and I don't. That doesn't happen.
If he had no job and was sitting around all day, he should have at least been working out, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Good for him.
All right, dudes. I'll check you
right.
later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Corey. I'll see you. Bye, Jackie. Jackie's. Bye guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Turned out as well as possible. You may want to kill
As well as possible, based on what?
that. I'm happy that we have Mello every once in a while, but I think I may want to kill it.
I mean, well, she said it was good to be back, but she's gonna get bogged down if it's all the time. Like, I gotta go play Call of Duty. Okay.
There you go. Really? You're gonna rip the fucking wrestling podcast where we're just trying to do a fucking plug? What the hell?
Well, but that could come off as funny anyway.
Agreed.
She doesn't like wrestling. Whatever. That's not. You know what I mean?
Have you, Jackie? Did you, Andy? Did you watch Lovebirds yet?
Oh yeah, I really liked it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. Is that basically the first, 4 years of Issa and Lawrence's relationship? Is that free to break it up?
Wow.
No?
No, but so you think you did not like Leilani?
Oh no, I thought she was. I didn't say Issa.
Was Leilani selfish?
No. Wanted to be happy. Unlike Issa, who doesn't know what the fuck she wants in life.
I thought it was hysterical at the end, though.
The Amazing Race.
Yeah, don't give the spoiler. I did think that was really funny at the end. But no, I thought the movie was funny in general. Rachel, it's a good one. Lovebirds, did you check it out yet?
No.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It was like it just dropped last week.
New?
Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani.
Well, then I'll probably like
It's a comedy. It's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
190 minutes, so it's a quick.
I love Issa Rae, so I'll probably like it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Issa Rae, good person. Not a good character on TV. Terrible human being.
Well, Issa D is the character.
Issa D. Issa Rae seems like a real cool person. Issa D.
You're just saying that to be contrarian. I know it.
Oh, Molly is awesome. Molly's actually trying to grow as a human being. It actually gives people.
I think there's problems with Molly too. They're all flawed characters.
Oh no, they're all flawed, but Issa's fucking